Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome back, friends. So, we move on. Yesterday we were doing email writing, memorandum writing, and now we are going to do official letters and also presentation scripts. Official letters, we have already seen how emails are written as letters in business situations. Official letters are perhaps a little bit more complex, that different from an average email by the degree of greater formality and more complexity. What are presentation scripts? Presentation scripts, when people make oral presentations, as you have seen, people make PPTs and they address a group of audience, and at the same time they also have scripts with them. The scripts, they can read out ad verbatim, they can show or not show to their audience. So, it depends on that. So, generally it is believed in a very formal situation, it is always advisable to take your scripts along. So, we move on. These are our objectives of today's lecture: how to write official letters and how to write presentation scripts. Now, what are official letters? Official letters or business letters are those very similar, as I have already told you, to an email, with the exception of a few structural changes. Generally, we prefer our emails to be of shorter length, not necessarily anymore, but remember that an official business letter is used for official communications and includes written letters such as recommendation letters, legal letters, cover letters, and many more. The way you format your business letter is extremely important. Now, first step is to make sure that there are spaces between the address, date, heading, salutation. It goes without saying, every official business letter should have the proper address, date, heading, salutation, the name, title of the sender. Each paragraph, there should be a paragraph and there should be a final. I mean, there should be a paragraph means there should be several paragraphs. So, an official business letter should be divided into several paragraphs. The other day we were seeing how you write introduction and body, conclusion. Same goes here also, and also signing off. The entire letter should be in single space. Do not play around with spaces. We use double spaces before and after your final signature in typed letters. Business letters are usually left justified, and this style of letter writing is called block style, full block style. You should pay attention, if it is handwritten, to the handwriting. If it is typed, then pay attention to the font. Okay. Generally, people use Arial or Times New Roman, preferably size 10 to 12, or a sans serif font. So, it depends on your preference. Most people say that Arial or Times New Roman suit them best. Now, you need to write a letterhead, goes without saying. It contains the company's name or the company that you represent, that its name, address and telephone number. It should always have salutation. Unlike ordinary letters, use the person's title, Doctor, Mrs., Mr., Mrs., Professor, followed by their names. A salutation like Dear Mr. John is appropriate, while something like Hi John, Hello John is not. Please pay attention to these facts. We sign off by saying yours sincerely, best regards, thanking you, with regards, etc. You do not just abruptly say, finish the letter and write your name. It is always advisable to use a proper courtesy. Utilize a company signature if you are composing the letter on behalf of the company. As always, it is best to use simple vocabulary and a mix of simple, compound and complex sentences. Do not use flowery language which borders on absurd. Person reading your letter will most likely be a very busy person and they do not have time or inclination to go over the intricacies of your letter. So, be brief and be to the point, right to the point. Always include an enclosure notification if you have attached any documents along with the letter. So, generally we say PFA, that is please find attached, that is an acronym. And if a copy of the letter is being sent to other recipients, make sure to use the copy notation. PFA is always sometime, most of the time we use in emails, but then we can also say enclosure in a hard copy of a letter. Also remember, if it is copied to several people, make sure that you are mentioning copy notation just the way you do in a regular email. The best practice is to use a standard wide bond A4 size paper to type out your letters. Remember, in business sometimes it is necessary to refuse requests. Not every time you make a request, do not assume that it is going to be honored. Sometimes it is possible that your request will be denied. Suppose or perhaps there will be, if you want some discount and the receiver may refuse. So, it is often necessary to refuse requests, to increase prices, to explain an oversight. Do not be apologetic all the time, but yes, the tone has to be extremely polite. You do not want to lose the customer. Always be particularly attentive to the appropriate tone. Tone should be considerate enough to avoid offense and causing bad blood between you and the receiver. Now, here is a sample. Yesterday we were looking at a letter of complaint where the writer had asked a certain company to replace a dress that she had bought online, and here is the response to that. Regarding your enquiry for order number 3457, dear madam, you can nowadays online portals and businesses, they also address you directly by your name. So, do not get too disturbed if you are addressed by your name. Not every company addresses you as madam or sir. It may be desirable, but it is not done, and definitely there is nothing wrong with it. So, it is with immense regret that we inform you that your dress cannot be replaced since it was bought during an incredible offer sale. Our company policy for replacement of damaged unsatisfactory goods does not extend to those bought on this sale. You had agreed to all our terms before purchasing our product. Please check clause so and so, and hence it is impossible from our part to replace the item. However, since it was completely our fault that you received a faulty item, we are willing to offer you a 50% discount on the next item that you purchase from our company regardless of the price. We are truly sorry about the inconvenience caused. This is a standard signing off remark. We are truly sorry about the inconvenience caused. Notice that the person here, Rohit Andrew, the HR manager, he refuses, he accepts that it is their fault, but he refuses to honor the request made by the customer, but he is in exchange he is offering a very good deal to her. They do not want to lose the customer. At the same time, perhaps they do not have the blue dress that she had asked for, and they do not want to take it back. So, sometimes companies function this way as well. How good, how appropriate, how ethical this is, we are not going to get into it, but we are just going to look at the language of it. We are not going into getting into the ethics of it. So, tone, yes, tone is correct, format is correct, layout is correct, and of course, the language is extremely acceptable and correct. We do not have any issues with that. We may have issue with the policy. Now, here is another letter. I have already mentioned the source. I have taken it from a very credible website, and look at what that person is complaining about. A very interestingly written letter. Dear Director, I am writing you concerning a round trip flight from Austin, Texas to Detroit, Michigan I made on December 10, 19. Travel demands have made me a consistent patron of American Airlines for the past 6 years. In that time, service on your airlines have always been good to excellent, but an interruption in service on the flight mentioned above has prompted my request for a 50% reduction in airfare on my next flight. So, the person is coming to the point. He is mentioning the date, the flight, the details of the flight, and what happened is the next thing. So, he is introducing, and then he is coming to the point what he wants. This is very important. I mean, in business letters and business communication, official communication, it is very necessary to put upfront what you expect. You may go on and on about your complaint, but if you write what you want from them at the end, it is not a very effective letter. The idea is to put your request, to put your what you want, expectation right at the beginning. So, look at the way in the last line of the first paragraph, the person, the writer here is mentioning what he or she, what he wants, and then the body of the letter. Here is what happened on December 10. While changing planes during the return trip at DFW airport, I was informed that our flight would be delayed. After 2 hours delay, we boarded the plane we had just left in order to meet our Chicago connection in Dallas. After takeoff from DFW, our pilot casually informed us that we should be impressed by the fact that the Dallas Cowboys football team had just left our seats. This was the only explanation of our inconvenience. I believe that this rerouting was done purely for promotional gain and was in no way mechanically or technically necessary. As a loyal patron of American Airlines, at least until this point, I have every confidence that the compensation I request above will be provided, considering the high standard of service and consideration your company has demonstrated towards its customers in the past. Look at the politeness of the polite tone of the letter. The writer or the sender of this letter has very high opinion of the company American Airlines. However, he has an issue, his concern is about a particular incident, and he thinks that this should not happen with a company of such great reputation. So, throughout, I mean, nowhere you will find him being combative or confrontational. I am going to take legal action, for example. I am never going to take your flight again. I am going to send a letter to the New York Times complaining about your unprofessional behavior. No, he is not doing all these things. He is not making any, he is not using strong language, he is not threatening, he is not resorting to any combative tactics. What he wants is appeal to their good sense, and look at the way it is ending. Sincerely, Scott Woodrow, enclosure copy of ticket, and then he gives his address, etc. Due to lack of space, I could not include everything, but that is the way it is written. If you want to look at the complete text of the letter and more details here and there, please go to this go to that source quoted referenced above. All right. Now, here is a typical business letter template. We have been talking about it, but let us recap. Company letterhead and logo, sender's name and designation, date, recipient's address, salutation, main body. Your request for internet services. I received a mail from your end inquiring about our data services. I would be more than happy to meet with you personally, since there are a range of internet services that we provide for corporate companies. We are currently based in Chennai, but our services are sought by people all over India. Please do let me know a date and time that is most suitable for you. Sincerely, and the name of the person. We have already had the designation of the person. He is the president of this particular company. Yesterday we also saw an email where the person has included a brochure along with the email. This can also be done. The company deals with providing internet services, and they are internet service providers. So, they could have given some addresses and names of important clients. So, that could have been part of their brochure. Now, look at this exercise situation. You are Ronald Capwell, currently employed as a sales executive in XYZ Corporate Limited. You have been employed there for the past 3 years, and now you intend to resign because you have got a better offer from another company. Draft a resignation letter to send to your HR manager informing him of your situation. And what your letter should include? Maintain an apologetic tone in your letter, but do not overdo it. Give the date from which your resignation will be effective. Do not write anything negative about your employer or your colleagues. You are resigning, go on a positive, leave on a positive note. Next exercise. You are Tony Matthew, HR manager at XYZ Analytics. As part of your annual employee recruitment process, you have selected 2 new people to join your team. So, write a letter to Keshav Raman in about 500 letters. One of the people that you have selected, welcoming him to the team. Include all the necessary details such as the list of important documents that he must carry along with him, a company dress code if any, work timings and the like. So, in other words, you are giving him a profile of his job and his duties, an overview of his duties and the work culture and work ethics of the particular company. Remember, every company has its unique code of conduct, its unique work culture and work ethics. It differs from company to company. So, you have to stick to that. Many a time problems arise because of not adhering to a particular code of conduct. Next exercise. As a general manager of a leading food delivery startup, so and so, you are required to terminate your company's contract with a leading food chain XYZ. You are terminating the contract due to a decrease in quality of the product. So, declining quality of product that they have been supplying. Draft a letter to the general manager of New Yuxe and informing him of the termination of the contract. Now, remember again the tone. Remember, nothing is permanent in corporate life, in business situations. Today you may not work together, tomorrow you have to, or you may have to. So, always part on a positive note. Tone is important, yes. Exercise 2.4, our next exercise. You are the general manager of a company and you are required to send a letter of rejection to a certain candidate who had requested a job at your company. This is something that many people have to do, HR people have to do, and it is always better to send a letter of rejection to the person upfront rather than keep the person dangling. Again, same justification, you never know where that person may find a better job in a better company, and you may have to come face to face with that person again. So, even if you are rejecting, it should be done in a polite way. So, this is one letter, but there are some flaws in it and you are given a sample letter. Rewrite the letter appropriately, but first read the letter which we think has certain flaws in it. Dear Manasi, subject, you have been rejected from our company. Hi Manasi, how are you doing? I am Anu Bhattacharya, the general manager of Luxon Motors. We had a fun time interviewing you! Exclamation mark. I hope you enjoyed it as well. However, we really cannot take you on board right now since we already have a pretty efficient team. Best of luck to you for your future endeavors. Lovingly, Anu. What are the things that you find are inappropriate and how would you like to rewrite this letter? Now, this is a takeaway homework exercise. You have been employed as a school teacher at a local institution for the past 20 years. One of your colleagues is about to retire soon after completing near 50 years of service. Draft a letter on behalf of the entire institution wishing him farewell. Yeah, it may look simple, but it may not be, because this person has served the institution for 20 years, which is a very long time. This person has actually the person who is retiring has completed 50 years and you are there, you have been there for 20 years. So, that means you have had the opportunity to know the person quite well. So, on behalf of the entire institution, wish him farewell. Now, this may look quite simple, but it is not, because there are emotions involved, but remember it is a letter of after all it is a business letter. So, there should be something that is I mean not just something, but should be professional as well. So, although we know in a farewell letter you will talk about personal attachments, feelings, personal interactions, however, professionalism has to be highlighted. Remember that it is not just enough to say how much you enjoyed visiting that person at his home and enjoying the home cooked food cooked at their place, or how much you enjoyed going out on long walks with that person, or even going for a tour with that person. You know, the companies do take people for tours and picnics and all. So, all that, regardless of all that, you must not fail to mention that how that person would be mixed how that person would be missed professionally, not just personally, but professionally. What did he bring to the institution's table? What did he bring to the institution? What were his sterling qualities as a colleague? So, that has to be emphasized. Now, here are some answers. Please look at this. Dear sir, formal resignation from XYZ company. It is with regret that I inform you that I am resigning from my position as sales executive for Acretics Corporate Limited. My last day of employment will be December 20th, 2017. I have worked for 3 years at this company and the journey so far has been most fruitful. Thank you for all the support that you have extended to me over the course of my employment here. My promotion from sales strategist to a sales executive really boosted my learning curve in the department. So, there are certain good choices of vocabulary, some good vocabulary. examples of good words. While I am quite regretful to leave this company, I am afraid I have pertinent reasons for doing so. If I can be of any assistance in speeding up the resignation process, do let me know. Yours sincerely, XYZ, and his designation and his contact number. This is the way an effective letter of resignation should be written. He is not trying to be over emotional, he is not complaining against anyone. Perhaps he has some issues or concerns, but this is not the time and place to bring them up. Next exercise. Please look at the letterhead, sender, date, receiver. Dear Mr. Keshav, welcome on board. We are pleased to welcome you on board to the analytics team at IIT Analytics. We are really impressed with your interview, especially at your confidence in tackling all our questions. Not just that, we feel like your background will enable you to be a valuable asset to us in our efforts to achieve our targets this year. Please report to our Chennai office on 20th December 2017 at 10 a.m. sharp. So, please pay attention to this. Why we are taking you? We were impressed. And then what next? Please report. They come to the point immediately. The company does not follow a strict dress code, however, be neat and professional looking in your appearance. Do not forget to take your ID card, preferably your Aadhaar card along with 2 photostat copies of it, 3 passport size photos and a copy of your graduation certificates. Along with this letter, we have enclosed the employment contract and benefits forms for your perusal. Please go over them before you sign them. We have also enclosed our employee handbook along with this letter. Do go through it to understand our culture and all of our policies. I wish you good luck here at IIT Analytics. Congratulations, yours sincerely. Next example. Dear Mr. Keshav, termination of contract. We Aromatics food delivery service are terminating our contract with your company New Yuxi or Aoxi Foods as of 1st January 2018. We no longer require the services of your company. By giving you this notice, we are also fulfilling the minimum notice period required by our agreement, and then legal clauses are given. Thank you for all the services you have provided our company so far. We are terminating the contract due to the following reasons. Due to the complaints that we have received from our regular customers about the poor quality of your food products. You do not really need to get into the details. The food did not taste well, or it was stale, or it was unhygienic. You do not have to get into details unless and until it is very clearly specified. And also due to the breaching of clause using adulterated items in your food products. No new orders will be placed with your company by Aromatics. However, we will continue receiving the orders that we have already arranged with your company, that is those placed before this letter. All outstanding bill settlements in our account will be cleared before 1st January 2018. Please acknowledge the receipt of this letter. For any queries or concerns, feel free to call me at the number provided above. Yours sincerely, signature, the name. And the next letter, the letter of rejection, and how should it be, how it should be. To receiver Manasi Sudhir, this and number, and dear Manasi, subject job application. We do not say you are rejected. Job application status. Thanks for showing interest in our company. The interview board was very impressed with you. However, we are sorry to inform you that we have already selected a candidate. Now, why can't we have hi, how are you? Because the tone is not appropriate. Remember, these two people are not on very friendly, they are not supposed to be on friendly terms with each other. They do not know each other. So, you do not begin right away, hi, how are you? So, therefore, this was a major problem. We have already selected a candidate whose profile is better suited for the company's needs. We wish you best of luck, all the best in all your future endeavors. Yours sincerely. We do not say lovingly to people with whom we have only business relations. Lovingly is extremely inappropriate in official communication. From here we move on to discussing what are presentation scripts. Remember, we make presentations and most of us get very nervous while making a presentation, even the most seasoned one of us, so seasoned ones of us. But it has become the need of the day, and there is no getting away from making presentations. A presentation, a PPT presentation becomes a lot easier if you have a script prepared to guide you through it. Remember, having a script is a great way to make a presentation. However, always make it a point not to read ad verbatim. It is always there. We know that making an official presentation is not a test of your memory, it is a test of your knowledge, it is a test of your ability to cope with the situation that the business situation may demand, the context may demand. But definitely you do not have to read out the script ad verbatim. Your script contains all the main points and figures that you want to convey to your audience, and always keep that handy. Now, here are a couple of tips for making a presentation script. The key is to be precise and simple. Do not always stare and mechanically read out. Simple sentences convey the key ideas to your audience. That is more than enough. If you read more and just refuse to take your eyes off your presentation script, it gives a very wrong impression. Remember, the body of your script is divided into an introduction, a body and a conclusion, just like a letter or a report. The introduction part of your script introduces the audience to the subject topic. It contains an overview of the main points along with all the questions that you are trying to answer through your presentation. So, that is the introduction. Remember, introduction should be upfront, that what you are trying to do. Also, it is a good idea when you stand before an audience, even if they are known to you or they are your colleagues, it is always good to introduce yourself before starting your presentation. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I am so and so, your HR manager, your CEO, your sales manager, your chief medical officer, and today I am going to brief you on the topic and whatever is the topic of the day. Here is an exercise for you. Go through the following passage and identify the key points of the passage. Blue Planet 2 demonstrated the terrifyingly fragile state of nature's ecosystem. One of the key messages from the BBC series was that a delicate balance exists in the oceans between predators and prey. If there are too many predators, the stocks of prey fall. The predators go hungry and their numbers dwindle, allowing the prey to recover. Balance is restored. Humans have the equivalent of this predator-prey model. It is best demonstrated by the workings of the labor market, where there is a constant struggle between employers and employees over the proceeds of growth. Unlike the world of nature, though, there is no self-righting mechanism. One side can carry on devouring its prey until the system breaks down. Over the past 40 years, employers have been the predators, workers the prey. Consider the facts. By almost any measure, the past decade has been a disaster for living standards. Unemployment has fallen from its post-financial crisis peaks across the developed world, but workers have found it hard to make ends meet. Earnings growth has halved in the UK, even though the latest set of unemployment figures show that the jobless rate is the lowest since 1975. The reason is not hard to find. Unions are far less powerful. Collective bargaining in most of the private sector is a thing of the past. Part-time working has boomed, and people who were once employed by a company are now part of the gig economy. These changes in the labor market are by no means confined to the UK or the US. European countries that were at the sharp end of the financial crisis, Greece, Ireland, Portugal, Spain, Cyprus, found that the cost of help was a program of wage cuts, austerity and privatization. The source of this passage is given below. Identify the key points of the passage. There are repetitions. It's a very good and it's a very well written passage, but there are repetitions. There are a lot of emotions also. However, you have to find the key words here. The key points are, what are the key points here? Critique the passage. What is it doing? Critiquing the capitalist mode of production using a Marxian perspective. You do not have to get into the theory part of it, of course. The passage also points out the imbalance of power between the worker and the employer. The passage equates the employer-worker situation to the predatory-prey situation, which is very important. Every society has a predator. In every civilization, we have a predator and a prey. And then failure of the system in giving a self-righting and providing a self-righting mechanism. Evidence is poor living standards and high rates of unemployment across the world. So, these are the main points. Let us look at this exercise now. Being the general manager of a leading company that specializes in producing dairy products. Please note the spelling of dairy products and compare it with a diary in which you make notes. You are required to make a presentation of the company's growth to a new client, make a presentation script, and some of the points that you would need are given here. Company was founded in this year as a small factory intended to supply clean pasteurized milk. Influenced by the white revolution, astounding growth since 1981, most popular in northern parts of India, and these states are given the names of certain states, employs 60 million people, now has a global outreach program. And here is your answer. It is a presentation script, example of a presentation script. Good morning to everybody gathered here. I am Pawan Sharma, the general manager of XYZ company. Today I will be taking you all through a brief presentation of the company's history and its objectives. This company started quite humbly in 1967, aiming to supply clean pasteurized milk to neighboring cities and villages. It was founded by my great grandfather, a man most interested in the policies that India was adopting then as part of the white revolution. Although it took some time for the company to establish itself as one of the leading producers of milk products in India, the journey so far has been most exciting. In the year 1981, the company registered a 31% profit rate, almost twice as what it had registered the previous year. The growth rate of the company since its inception is shown here in the graph, and in the actual presentation you can include the graph as well. The company employs a staggering 60 million people to look after and monitor all its procedures. Our customer base is mostly located in Gujarat, Rajasthan and Punjab. However, our latest initiative, the Kiln Milk and Milk Products Global Outreach Program, is in its initial phase, and in 5 years we hope to have a worldwide customer base. So, this is a very effective presentation. You have been given how to make a presentation script. Okay, so, you are given a presentation, and at the same time while you are reading out or while you are referring to the presentation script, you can show your PPT with all the data, statistics and graphs. So, this is the way presentation scripts work. So, to recap, we have done how business letters are written, official letters are written in a business context, and how to make effective presentation scripts that can be used along with your actual presentation. So, thank you very much.